Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record every Mondays at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time. If you enjoy the channel, please hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on and you will get an email link with this full episode. And if you want to submit to this show, take a look at the information in the description.
So I was playing the Bay 101 a couple weeks ago at the Deep Stack tournament,
Okay.
and probably the largest prize pool I've ever played in.
What was the buy-in?
There were 7 left. The largest prize that I was going. It was a 450 buy-in, but there was like 25,000 for first, so it was like
okay. So 450 Deep Stack Matrix, and you're at the final table.
No, Bay 101.
Oh, Bay 101.
Bay 101.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Bay 101.
Yeah, no worries.
25K up top.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
And it's interesting because you emailed me this hand, and I just played I don't play in many tournaments, right? I just played at Jacksonville Best Bet. The hand that you're about to tell me reminded me of a couple of hands that I played at Best Bet. One of which I posted yesterday, where I rivered aces up, and the question was what I was going to do. Let's talk about your hand, but this is, if anybody's watching this after the fact, if you look at my Twitter, Instagram from October 20th, you'll see this hand that I posted up dealing with a crazy, just wacko shit, recreational satellite winner, and, rivering a good hand, but not a nut hand. So, all right, so let's take us through it here.
Yeah, I saw that actually. It was pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was 7 left final table. I had 105,000. The villain had 70.
Okay.
The blinds were 1,000, 2,000 with the 250 ante.
1,000, 2,000, 250. So there was no big blind ante. Is that what it was? It was no big blind ante.
No,
really?
it's one. It's everyone antes.
Okay.
It was everyone, all the players ante.
Right. So it's about I guess it's about the same 8-handed would be like a 1K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
About similar. So I looked down. It got folded to me, and I was in the cutoff.
Okay.
I had Queen of Hearts, Jack of Hearts. I raised to 6,000. Folds the button. Villain calls in small blind, big blind folds.
So we're going to do this as best as we can, but of course, there's really critical information here in a tournament. Off the top here, it seems like your raise size is a little bit large, but I think it can be okay depending on the players behind you. And in this ICM spot, which is where you start to pay ladder, if the guys behind you are short and you're the chip leader, you actually can. This is where I do see this various sizing. Are you one of the chip leaders here, basically?
I was the chip leader.
You were the chip leader. Okay, so I can actually see this. I can actually see this where they're basically going to have to risk all their chips, and then they're risking their tournament. Like there are a bunch of chip people sort of in the middle. You know what I mean? I don't know if that came into play or you're just always raising the 6,000. But okay, so the small blind calls, who is at about 30 blinds. So he flat calls, right? Ish with about 30 blinds. Okay, yeah.
Yep. And I agree with you with the size. I sized up just because of ICM and such. So he calls 6,000. The flop was a very good flop for me. It was 9 of hearts.
Okay.
8 of hearts. Queen of diamonds.
So you flop. Oh, by the way, you have Queen Jack of Hearts, right? I don't think I don't know if we said that or not. But so you fold to hero, you make it 6,000 with Queen Jack of Hearts and the cutoff. Small blind calls. So that's interesting. I don't know what they deal with the small blind, because usually in this type of anti-structure in a tournament, or if you're playing in cash game, we've talked about this before, in a 3-blind structure, there isn't a ton of flat calling in the small blind, or there shouldn't be. But then when you get into ICM, and if this guy's in the middle with other stacks, he might take some hands that would be shoves, not at the final table, and call with them. This flop is kind of interesting, right? Because you sort of crush it in the sense that you flop top pair, you have a straight flush draw, Queen of Diamonds, 8 of Hearts, 9 of Hearts, and you have a gutter to a 10, right? So I don't know. It's very difficult for you ever to be killed here, right? Unless somebody flops Jack 10 or something like that, where maybe you're only 35%, right? But even if the guy flops like a set of 8s or a set of 9s or something, you're probably at least 35% here too. I just wonder on the surface is this actually could be played better as a check back. I'm assuming the small blind checked you, right?
Yeah, and I thought about that too. Since I had a pretty decent stranglehold with the redraw, I really thought about checking behind, but I bet he checked. I bet 6,500.
It's just because the small blind calling range here, Doug, is so tight. Like I can get on.
Yeah.
Do you see the difference between betting here against the big blind and the small blind? I feel like. Like I think that this is a slam dunk bet for small, maybe small sizing, whatever. Or I guess you could go larger sizing. It's just you crush this board so hard. You know, when the big blind and these guys like know that they're going to defend with the antes, especially if you raise smaller pre-flop, then a bet like for value is warranted against the big blind. But here from a 3x and a small blind flat, I wonder if his range is like sort of comprised of like 6s, 7s, 10s, you know, king, queen, ace, queen, things like that. So, and if you're going to get a lot of those hands just to fold out, that's the only thing that I'm thinking about here. But okay, so you bet 6,500. Yeah.
Yeah, and he called. The only background I have on me is just an older Asian man. I haven't played many pots with him, but that's all. It seemed like he splashed around a little bit. But yeah, I bet 6,500. He called pots about 2,800. And the turn was a pretty good one for me, or, you know, relative to brick. Turn is 4 of diamonds.
Okay.
He checks again fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And this is where I really need your input on this. This is where it gets weird. I bet 13,000, and he pretty quickly min check raised to 26.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to bet here again. If you start with a flop bet here, and some people in the chat are saying, well, you know, there's a little bit of protection betting going on here against like an ace or a king, but you have the heart draw though too. So I you know, and the guy didn't re-raise pre. So I mean, some of the times when you flop top pair in a heart draw, like a guy, I mean, there's not, you know, if he had an overcard here, like a king jack or something, I mean, he could be drawing to as little as like 2 or 3 king outs and then, you know, a couple of 10 outs because you have the hearts, right? So you know, you could get this guy when you flop top pair and a flush draw, and you think that somebody might have overs or a gut shot and over, you really, really crush the guy. Like, I understand that there's reasons for winning the pot in tournaments, but this is, I think, a special circumstance. So if I had decided to bet on the flop, I think I'm checking back the turn here. And I don't think that I'm taking this sizing here. And again, it's because of just the configuration, right? This is a tight call configuration. Something smells a little bit up to me. When he check raises 26,000 here, I mean, to be honest with you, what it kind of squarely looks like to me could be like a Jack 10 suited type of hand, which is only 3 combos, right? 8s and 9s. I wonder if 8s and 9s is going to do a fair amount of slow play. You say he's an older Asian guy, right? It's Queen 8-9. He's probably in the middle of the pack in a tournament, right at the final table. How often are those hands going to be flatted on the flop if they're flatted pre? I think a lot of guys are just going to go with that, right? Like if they're only playing 30 blinds effective, they're going to check call. That's why this kind of smells like it's like Jack 10. So you bet 13. I mean, he min raises you to 26. There's nothing you can do here but call, right? You're going to get an immediate price, right?
Yeah, I honestly thought about stuffing it, but I just realized.
Oh, I think stuffing it would be very, very bad.
Yeah, no. It was a 1-second thought. I just called.
Yeah.
And my alarm, I mean, yeah, Jack 10 seems like very reasonable. 9s, you know, or a big heart draw with the, you know, ace to the hearts.
By the way, too, I just want to, because there's some interesting things going on here in the chat, and this is where I think some people don't. Again, I'm leaning on my live experience. Somebody said in the live chat, ace queen. Like, they're talking about, like, what hands could they have, right? And the reason why, like, a hand like ace queen would almost never be here is because, number one, there's going to be some frequency of it being jam pre-flop. Okay, let's say it's called, right, for those dynamics that we talked about. Let's say it's called, okay? There's going to be some frequency of it being check raised on the flop. And again, let's say it's called a lot. So, you know, it's called a lot pre, it's called a lot on the flop. The guy's playing defensive. You have now you've doubled your bet size on the turn, right? 65 to 13. He's min raising you to 26. He started with 70. So let's ask ourselves this question here on the turn. If a guy's playing ace queen safe pre and on the flop, would he check raise the turn when the guy bets twice? And if he were to check raise, would it be to a min raise sizing? This is never ace queen. Like when you look at it from street to street, occasionally you might see a guy like check raise all in with ace queen on the turn when he goes brick, but he's going to go all in. He's not going to min raise. Yeah. It's just that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes people don't think through the whole entire thing, but I think stuffing here would be a huge mistake. So 13K to 26K, and I assume you call.
I called, and you're right. There's just never ace queen.
Yeah.
I just think that he called. Yeah. So so I called. The river was a good river for me. I thought it was the 10 of diamonds giving me a straight.
So the backdoor flush draw comes in. 9 of hearts, 8 of hearts, queen of diamonds, 4 of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, right? So you make a straight, obviously, right? And the pot's going to be 52 on turn, 65. It's right around 80,000, right? And the guy has
80, yeah.
And the guy's put in like 35, right? And you only started with 70.
Yeah, he had 40 left. I think was the right. I think it was 80,000 pot on the river, and he had 40 behind.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does he do here at the end?
He stuffed it after about 10 seconds. And
so small blind's all in. Well, I mean, I didn't quite realize that it was that short. So small blind's all in for 40K into 80. So you're getting 3-1, right? So
yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to marginalize this spot. I mean, in this spot, like you have to it's just a call. Well, what I think is more interesting about this is that if you guys were deeper, what you would do, and that's why I think it's I thought it was interesting because I think in this spot, I'm always trying to go for thin value. But I think you definitely do just have a call here, no matter how deep you are. Even if the backdoor, I got to be honest with you, even if the backdoor diamonds didn't come in either, Queen of Hearts, 8 of Hearts, 9 of Hearts, 8 of Hearts, Queen of Diamonds, 4 of Diamonds, 10 of Diamonds. If you played that little check raise on turn and then bet river for a pretty hefty sizing, it's just a spot where you're not going to get a jack to fold, right? And if he's bluffing, and you can lose to king jack. So it's kind of an extreme spot. Here with backdoor diamonds, you're getting half pot. I mean, you're going to be getting 3-1. I mean, I think that you have to call. You're going to I truly believe that you're going to have jack 10 suited get turned over. It is a little surprising that he's betting so large here, but I don't think that there's any way that you can possibly think about folding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I called really quickly, and I'll tell you after the hand exactly what happened at the end. But he turned over King 7 of diamonds, and I was baffled.
King 7 of diamonds that called the flop bet? Wow.
Yeah. And everyone was shocked. The next hand, I got aces, and he got kings, and he had a king on the river, and I was...
You were out in 7th?
Leader to 7th place.
Yeah.
It was sickening. Sickening.
I mean, and part of the reason why sometimes like I would check back that flop. I mean, obviously you didn't know that this guy was kind of insane, but part of the reason I would check back that flop is again that hits his that it's a great hand for you because you cover the board. It hits the small blind's calling range, and if you check back this board on the flop, he might start doing some stupid shit with a random hand, like King 7 of clubs that he would otherwise fold on the flop. Obviously, he's supposed to fold King 7 of diamonds. He's pre-flop and on the flop, right? It's just kind of bizarre. But that's insane to me that he would... And the other thing, too, is that it's really strange for a guy to, like, min-raise that turn as opposed to, like, check-raise all in. You know what I mean? It's just very, very odd. It's very odd.
It was a really
indeed.
odd hand, and try not to be results oriented, Bart. I mean, I could have played this any different, right?
No. I mean, what are you gonna? No. Well, I mean, again, I think I might check back turn, but
check the turn, yes.
Yeah, I think I might
agree.
Check back turn, but I mean, besides that, no, I don't think you did anything wrong. Thanks for the call. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.